Good morning, my beautiful friends, and happy Monday. I am so excited to talk to you about today's topic, and I'm actually going to set aside a little bit of time for you to actually do what I'm going to teach you today. And don't even worry about this little peacock hair I've got going on this way. I don't know. I've tried to fix it. It's not doing anything. So we're just going to deal with it today. So when you're watching this call, if you're watching the recording, I really want to challenge you to actually listen and actually have time to sit down to yourself. So if you are working right now and you have do this on your lunch break potentially, or do this when you have a spare moment to yourself. If you are a mom and you have cute, crazy kids like me, do it when they're entertained by a movie, or do it when they're sleeping or taking a nap, or late tonight when they're in bed, something like that. I just want to challenge you to really have time to do this. Yes. So what we're talking about today is going more into depth into meal planning. Okay. I'm not going to talk about meal prep today because I'll be real, I don't really meal prep. I meal plan. And I feel like this is one of those things that we make so much bigger than it really has to be. And I don't feel like I share what I do because it's so simple that I feel like it's a no-brainer to people. But then when I share what I do with people, they're like, oh my gosh, that's so smart. I can't believe I've never thought about that. And I'm like, okay, I obviously need to talk about what I do because it's really not that complicated. And this is what I've been doing for probably the last 4 years consistently, maybe a little bit longer than that. I honestly don't know. So I will tell you, some of the things that I have and the resources that I have are specific to me. If you can't find what I use, you can legit use a pen and paper. Yes. Or if you have a phone that has like a notes app or whatever, just legit take notes on your phone. Yes. You don't have to have any fancy schmancy equipment to meal plan. Yes. So I got this at a yard sale for $1. Yes. And I'm pretty sure they have these types of things at Hobby Lobby. It's just a week-long whiteboard, and I love it. So every Sunday, my husband and I sit down together and we just talk about our week. And I ask him what he's got going on this week that we need to put on the calendar. We see what we have as far as like kids go, pediatrician's appointments. I write down like little things that we like to do, like play dates or going to the library at whatever specific time because we like their toddler time and story time stuff, whatever. Yes. And I write down anything that's important as far as scheduling goes. And I know that I just said that this is a call about meal planning, but I really believe that when you're planning out your week with your family like that, it eliminates stress so much. Because I was telling Blake this last night, like a few years ago, I would cry like every 3 or 4 days to him and just like melt and fall apart because I was so stressed. And I feel like since I got this calendar and since I got the daily deposit journal that I've talked about before, that you make your 5 game day list tasks and the 5 things that are the biggest priority for that day, I feel like my stress levels have like significantly decreased because on Sundays, I know the whole week and I write it down. So it's not like I have to remember it in my brain. I write it all down. And then anytime I need to reference it, I just look at my whiteboard and it's Monday. So all I need to worry about is Monday. So I'm going to look at Monday. And I always try to look at the beginning of the day, what we're making for dinner so that I can intentionally okay, around noon, I need to start defrosting some chicken because it's in the freezer and I don't want it to be frozen when I start cooking it. Yes. Or I need to defrost this is whatever. You get the point. Yes. And it really helps decrease in stress. In addition to the meal planning, it totally helps decrease in stress, and it helps our budget because when I'm buying groceries, I'm not just buying all these things that I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll feel like making this, or I just want to have this on hand, or I really want to, whatever, I don't know what I'm going to make, so I'm just going to buy a whole bunch of random crap. And then when I actually sit down and make a meal, I realize I don't have this or this or this or this or this or this or this. So I actually can't make that. So whatever, we'll just go out to eat today or whatever, get some pizza. Yeah, so this not only helps our budget, it helps my stress, and it helps my waistline and the waistlines of my whole family. Yeah. So I used to do this with Blake. We used to meal plan together, but he expressed that he doesn't like it. And he's like, you just pick. I really don't care. I just like food. Yes. So just pick something and I don't care. Yes. So I started doing it myself. And then I just ask him, does that sound okay? And every night after dinner, I ask him like, okay, what did you think? It's only if it's a new meal. If it's something we've made a million times, I don't ask him a bazillion times if he liked it or not. But I always try to try at least 1 to 2 new recipes every single week, just because I like to cook. I like to be adventurous, and I like that it challenges me to be a better cook when I'm making new recipes, and we find things that we enjoy as a family, both my kids and us, and we don't get sick of eating the same things over and over and over and over again. Yeah. So I ask him every time we try something new, what did you think? Is that like a yes, I loved it? It was okay, but you don't really need to make that ever again. And I keep note of it in my phone. And I have a note called Meals We Love. And I've written down everything that we as a family love. There's ones that Blake and I specifically love, and then I put a little asterisk by it that like my kids actually ate it well. Because there are definitely, if you're a mom, you totally understand that there are some meals that you and your husband think are great, but your kids like don't eat, and it's obnoxious. So I make a note of the things that Blake and I love, and then I put an asterisk by the things that we love as a family. And only every once in a while will I make the ones that only Blake and I love, and then I'll just plan to make something on the side for my kids, whether it's like a quesadilla or mac and cheese or whatever, and I'll make the other thing for Blake and me. Or like last night I made a soup, and my kids don't really necessarily love that soup, but I made grilled cheese sandwiches on the side to go with the soup. So Blake and I mainly ate the soup, but my kids mainly ate the grilled cheese sandwiches, and it worked out, So hopefully that makes sense. So Sunday nights I sit down and I write down all the meals that we're going to have. And I will be completely honest. Yes, I have these fabulous cookbooks. I got this one several years ago, and Blake and I went through it, and put Post-it notes and all the meals that like sounded good or that we wanted to try or whatever. I'm pretty sure we've tried at least 80% of the ones that we wanted to. And there are several that are now staples that, I basically have memorized and don't even need to look at anymore. Like this one, caprese chicken. It's basically, if you've ever had a caprese salad, it's just a caprese salad over chicken. So it's got your fresh basil and your tomato and your mozzarella. We also drizzle balsamic vinaigrette on it, like the balsamic vinegar glaze, because we love that part of caprese salads. So good. So good. Okay. And there's so many awesome recipes in here. I won't show you all of them. Love this cookbook. It's great. I love this one even more. This one came out in May, I want to say. Every single thing we've tried in here is absolutely delightful and so good. Like even down to, I don't like mashed potatoes at all, but there is a red potato mash in here, and everything in here is that's Autumn. If you don't know who that is, she's the creator of 21 Day Fix, 21 Day Fix Extreme, 80 Day Obsession, Country Heat, all those awesome programs. And she's the creator of the container system. So we talked about that last week. Yeah. So everything in here is healthy. This is her brother, Bobby, and they have the Fix8 cooking show on Beachbody On Demand together. So a lot of the recipes that are in these two cookbooks are actually on the Fix8 cooking show. So you can totally have access to these recipes if you don't have the cookbook. I like to have the cookbook in addition because I need to actually look at it when I'm making the meal. But I'll be real, I probably make one of these recipes like 2 to 3 times a week, and the other 4 to 5 times during the week that I make dinner, I'm using a Pinterest recipe. Just being real. I have found so many fabulous Pinterest recipes that totally work with the containers. And I've been doing the containers for a long time now, like 3-4 years. I know what it is like with the containers. I know what the servings are. And again, like we talked about last week, this is my lifestyle, yeah, and I don't want to only stick to these meals for the rest of my life, because like I said earlier, I really like to try 1 to 2 new recipes every single week. So this week, and I'll be real, some of our dinners are not exactly 100% healthy, and I'm okay with that because I want my kids to eat and I want my husband to eat, and I will just make sure my nutrition is on point, breakfast through dinner, and then after dinner, I'm gonna not eat anymore. And that's one of the reasons I love the containers too, is because I can have carbs with dinner, and 90% of what my kids like to eat is carbs. So if I make a veggie-based meal following 2B mindset, my kids are most likely not gonna eat it. So that's another reason why I switched back to the containers, like I talked about last week. So we're making creamy beef and shells from a Pinterest recipe. I found a 21-day fix lasagna recipe on Pinterest. Oh my, delightful. When I told Blake that we were making lasagna out of zucchini, he was like, that sounds disgusting. He devoured it. He loved it. So we're making that again, okay? I'm gonna be out of town Wednesday through Saturday this week, so Blake's making stuff while I'm gone. So he's making an instant pot spaghetti, so easy, so good. He's making curry, and then he's making teriyaki chicken with pot stickers. And then when I come home on Sunday, we're having creamy honey mustard chicken. It's another Pinterest recipe. And a lot of the times, like with the chicken recipes that I find, I will just eat the chicken. And I'll have it over zucchini noodles or something so that I can make it a little healthier for me. And then I will make normal noodles for my family. Or if they're having something like curry or teriyaki chicken, they will all have it over white rice because they like that better. I will have it over cauliflower rice. So like the base is the same, the meal is the same, and I legit just get those bags of frozen vegetables that you throw into the microwave. My favorite is the Bird's Eye Steam Fresh brand. And you legit throw them in the microwave for 4 to 5 minutes. It steams the vegetables in there. And so it doesn't add any more, like I don't have to shred the cauliflower or get a food processor or boil water and then steam it or whatever. It's like, it's not any extra work for me to have it over veggies instead of with a carb. Yeah. So those are some healthy alternatives that I like to do when my family is having other things. And then there are other days like tonight when we're having creamy beef and shells, I'm gonna straight up have the shells. I ain't gonna have that over zoodles. I'm gonna eat the real thing. And I'm just gonna make sure in my meal planning throughout today that I save the carbs for tonight. So, so I will typically, with like a carb dish like that, I will typically save 2 carbs for dinner. And then I'll just make sure, and then I'll also, okay, I'll look at the recipe. Oh, there's some veggies in there. Okay, it's about a half a serving of veggies. Okay, there's some olive oil in there. I got to add some teaspoons. Okay, there's some heavy cream or half and half or whatever. Okay, that's definitely a blue. Like, and is that on the blue list for autumn calories? No. Heavy cream is not on there. Half and half is not on there. But again, this is my lifestyle. And I want to have those recipes because I think half and half and heavy cream make things absolutely delicious. So I'm just going to make sure that I have a small portion of it, and I'm going to make sure I allot the right containers with it. Yes. So I want to challenge you now. I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to give you like 10 minutes to meal plan your week. And again, like go get a piece of paper and a pen. Like it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't have to wait until you find one of these week-long whiteboard things at a yard sale. Like you don't have to have one of these to make this work for you. Legit, get a pen and paper or make a calendar of your own on a white piece of paper and write everything out for yourself. Yes, there are lots of tools, lots of resources, and you can straight up use a note on your phone, okay? Last thing I say, and I'm going to keep recording this while I give you that 10 minutes so that it's like quiet and it gives you the time and the resources to actually sit down and meal plan your week out. Yes. So last thing I say before I let you go for 10 minutes and do this yourself, I will then, every Monday is when I do my grocery shopping. So I will get out a fresh sheet of paper and a pen, and I will go look at every single recipe, and I will go look through everything in my cupboards to make sure I have absolutely every single ingredient that I need to to make all the meals so that when it comes time to actually make it, it's not like, oh crap, I thought I had pepper, but I realized I ran out of pepper like a week ago and never put it on a grocery list. So now I can't add pepper to my whatever. Like I legit make sure absolutely every single thing is in my fridge, my cupboard, my pantry, whatever. Yes. So I will write down everything that I don't have that I need, and only that. And then I'll do that for all the meals, Monday through Sunday. And then as soon as I'm done with that, then I will go through my stuff, or most of this I know already in my head. And I will just go through all the food groups. And I will say, okay, like, do I have extra proteins on hand that I can eat easily when I need an extra protein? My favorite go-to proteins are chicken sausage. Idell's is my favorite brand. You get it at Costco for cheap. You spell that Aidells. So Idell's chicken sausage is my favorite. Pineapple and bacon is my absolute favorite, but they don't sell it here where I live now. So I've settled for chicken and apple. But if they ever have the other flavors, I stock up on them. Yes. I love chicken sausage. I have at least one a day. Eggs are like every single morning for breakfast. Yes. I love cottage cheese. Shakeology counts as a protein. Lunch meat is another favorite. I love to have sandwiches for lunch. And yeah, that's basically, I'm one of those people who I eat very, very similarly every single day. And that's another reason why I like to switch it up for dinners, is because like breakfast through up until dinner, like my afternoon snack, I eat basically the same things every single day. So those are some of the proteins that I love to have on hand. Carbs, I love, but I cannot exercise self-control around Love Crunch. It's a granola that is completely organic, so good. You can get it at Costco as well, and major grocery stores. So delicious, but I have learned for myself that I cannot have it on hand because I have no self-control around it. And yes, it's good for me, but not when you have like the whole bag in 3 days. Yeah. I love just Ritz crackers, whole wheat Ritz crackers or wheat thins. I love obviously whole wheat bread, whole wheat tortillas. And I'll be real, sometimes I have white tortillas and I don't feel guilty about it at all. Sometimes I have white bread and I don't feel guilty about it at all. I'm just trying to do mostly healthy. And then sometimes I have the white stuff because it's good. Dave's Killer Bread is my favorite. If you've never tried it, try it. It's so good. And black beans are a favorite carb that I love to have on hand. Corn is a favorite carb that I love to have on hand. Seeds of Change, it's like it's a quinoa and brown rice blend, but it is delicious. And you like legit rip the top a little bit, put it in the microwave for 90 seconds and it's done. And it is so good. And I love to have that with like a chicken sausage, and I add like spinach and tomatoes and bell peppers and onions and whatever, make it like a little Mexican bowl for myself that's like so healthy and delicious. So yeah, those are some carbs that I love to have on hand. And then veggies, I am a sucker for salad mixes. I love to have like 4 to 5 salad mixes on hand throughout the week because Blake and I both have them. And they last about a week. So I typically get like 4 to 5 for the two of us to share, and I'll throw it into dinners, whatever. Like I already said, I like to get frozen vegetables and have those on hand in the freezer. Broccoli, of course, is a staple for us, as are green beans. And I get frozen corn because that's just easier. And then I get things like frozen cauliflower rice and zucchinis. I get fresh zucchinis because I have a spiralizer, and I like to bake them or fry them, I guess, in a pan. Just not with any oil or anything, or maybe a splash of olive oil, but that's how I like to have my zoodles. So zoodles are the one like base that I don't steam in the microwave. I will actually like put them in a pan and stir them with olive oil and salt and pepper and garlic powder and onion powder, and have that when I have like a noodle dish instead of what my family is having. So, almost always have zucchinis on hand, always have peppers and onions on hand because those are like my family's. We add those to everything. Always have tomatoes on hand, both like big tomatoes and grape tomatoes. Always have carrots on hand. I like to have mini bell peppers on hand just because those are my like easy grab and go snackable veggies. that I can just throw into a Ziploc bag. I don't have to prepare in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, those are my staple veggies. And then staple fruits, I mean, they change because anything acidic right now gives me heartburn because I'm pregnant. But peaches are like my jam right now. But always love to have blueberries, strawberries, apples, and bananas for sure. And then we switch it up every once in a while. Sometimes we get raspberries and blackberries. Sometimes we get not tangerines, clementines. Sometimes we'll get nectarines and whatever, watermelon or like seasonal fruits. But yeah, the like apples, bananas, peaches, blueberries, strawberries, like we always have those, like always. Grapes, that's another one we always have because my kids love grapes. And then as far as like salad dressings and teaspoons go, if you're following the containers, I always have olive oil. That's like the only oil I really use. And then dressings, I make a homemade ranch, and it has buttermilk in it, and it has mayo in it, and it has salt in it, and it has like pepper and garlic powder and parsley and onion powder. And I just make sure that I only have a small portion of it. I fill the orange container with it, but I straight up have ranch, like homemade ranch, because it's delightful and delicious, and it makes my salads so good. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically what I do when I am planning my meals, when I am planning out my groceries for the week. And again, like I said, I don't really share that very often because to me it's just like a no-brainer. But there have been many people that I talk to that they're like, oh my gosh, that's so smart. That I'm like, okay, apparently I just need to talk about this more. So there you go. There you have it. If you have any questions, please ask. But for now, I'm just going to set aside 10 minutes for you to meal plan. If you've already meal planned, to make your grocery list. That's what I'm going to do. I've already meal planned my week. Obviously, you just saw, but now I need to make my grocery list. And if you're already like really on top of things and you've already made your grocery list and your meal plan, then you can make a note in your phone of like all your family's favorite meals, and put asterisks or whatever by the ones that your kids love. If you want to do something similar to me or whatever, you can just sit here for 10 minutes and twiddle your thumbs. Yeah. So I'm going to set my timer and then I'll let you go in 10 minutes. But just wanted to give you some active time to actually get this done. Okay. And I'll mute myself. But if you have questions, type in the chat and I'll see you in 10 minutes. Good luck. All right, my timer just went off. I hope that was helpful. I hope that having that time set aside, I know that helped me. I made my whole grocery list for the week. And yeah, I don't know if you know that this is available to you, and it might not be depending on where you live, but there are many, many options nowadays with grocery shopping that you don't have to go grocery shopping the old-fashioned way, especially if you have like a super busy life and or kids that are really hard to go grocery shopping with. You can, there are two things that I absolutely love. You can either order your groceries online and then go pick them up, and you legit just sit in your car. And then they bring the groceries out to you, which is so awesome, and legit takes like 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how far you have to drive to your grocery store. But you like sit there for probably 2 or 3 minutes, and then they bring them out, and then you drive away, and then you just go home and unload them, and it's lovely. Or if you want to pay a little bit more, that cost is, there's like no extra cost. Or if you want to pay a little bit more, you can straight up have your groceries delivered to you. And I do that all the time when I'm out of town, even. I will have my groceries delivered to the hotel room that I'm at, so that I can have apples and bottled water and carrots and bell peppers and whatever, and stick them in this mini small fridge so that I can have healthy stuff to go with me when I travel. Or if it's like just a crazy day and I'm like, we have no food, but I have no time to go grocery shopping today, like I will just pay a little bit extra and have them delivered to my house. And it's like $99 for a whole year to have them delivered to your house, or it's $10 a time. So you do pay a little bit more like in the actual product, like bananas, instead of being 99 cents, they'll be like $1.29 or whatever, just to cover the cost. I don't know that that's the actual numbers, but just to cover the cost of convenience for you not to have to come. But I really love it because even though I'm paying a little bit more in having them delivered to me, time is money, and time is the only resource I'm never going to get back in my life. So I think it's worth it. And two, it makes me not so stressed because it's a lifesaver with not having to bring my children. And three, I'm not doing any impulse buying. So especially like Costco, I always have Costco delivered to me, because when I go to Costco, like it is physically impossible for me to go to Costco and only get the stuff on my list. I always get stuff I don't need because it's on sale, or because it just sounds good in the moment, or I tried a sample and it was freaking delicious and now my whole family needs it, or whatever. Like, if you know that there's a specific store that you cannot exercise self-control around when it comes to spending and whatever, I would really, really suggest you look into having your groceries delivered to you, so that you not only save your budget, but you save your waistline, and you're not getting stuff like Love Crunch when you know you can't handle it. Yeah, even though it's approved. So I'm going to let you go. And if you want to do that, like it's called something different. The grocery pickup is called something different, but I know Smith's does it. It's called Click List. I know Walmart Grocery does it. And I think you just go to walmartgrocery.com, like, or just walmart.com, and click on the grocery specific. And then you can see near you which ones do that. I know those are the only ones that I know of for sure that do the whole like drive up and you can pick them up thing. But Instacart is the one where they deliver to you, and they partner with all the local grocery stores. So for me, I use Instacart, and I can use Instacart to shop at Sprouts. I can use Instacart to shop at Costco. I can use Instacart to shop at Smith's. I can use Instacart to shop. Those are the main three that I use. There's like other random ones that I'm like, oh, I've never really heard of that, but good to know I can use it. So Instacart partners with the major grocery brands near you in your area, and Instacart is the one that delivers them to your house. So it's just instacart.com. And again, it might not be available to you depending on where you live, but they do deliver within a 20-mile radius. So that's a pretty big radius. So as long as you don't live like out in the middle of nowhere, they should deliver to you. So that's freaking awesome. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful. I don't see anything in the chat. So